Electricast.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Hey there, travelers. Kaylee Cuoco here. Sorry to interrupt your music, great artist BT Dubs, but wouldn't you rather be there to hear it live? With Priceline, you can get out of your dreams and into your dream concert. They've got millions of travel deals to get you to that festival, gig, rave, sound bath, or sonic experience you've been dreaming of. Download the Priceline app today, and you can save up to 60% off hotels and up to 50% off flights. So don't just dream about that trip. Book it with Priceline.
Go to your happy price, Priceline.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Championship Reroute. What is this, like episode 74 by now? What is it, Boston Sports Fan? Shit's wild. This is the second iteration of the Boston Red Sox Championship Reroute, the 2007 Boston Red Sox. And I can't believe, if we're going to, put ourselves in the headspace of 2007, I can't believe we're here doing a fucking show the second time about the Boston Red Sox winning a World Series. It's such an unbelievable thing. Before we get into what a crazy time it is for the Red Sox and what's going on in the world right now. What do you guys remember about this team? Ray, go first.
I remember being I can't say excited because obviously I know. Well, no, I guess excited was the word because. So obviously 2005, they get to the playoffs, but they lose in the wild card round two, or divisional round two.
White Sox.
To Chicago.
White Sox. Graffinino, Buckner to ball, bro. Never forget it.
Yeah, Graffinino. Oh my God, wow. That's the name I didn't even remember. So you just said that.
Never forget it.
Yeah, I just remember the many home runs in Game 3, but they ended up losing that game in that series. But obviously that game that year ended prematurely. And in 2006. It was just a bunch of injuries, right? And so I think that team went 86 to 76. Veritek got hurt. I think Ortiz got hurt. And, I just think there was just a lot of things. No, sorry. He had 54 homers that year. He was phenomenal that year. But
faked a heart attack to get away from the steroid probe. But yeah, you're right.
Got you. Great. It happens. But yeah, so I just think there's a lot of stuff that, they were kind of on was mindful like, okay, well now they're back at great, they won, but are they ever going to get back? And I think they obviously they make that trade, and they trade. He is coming back later on, but at that time, prospect Hanley Ramirez gets traded down to Florida. You get Josh Beckett back. You get Mike Lowell back in the day. You sign Julio Lugo, and you sign JD Drew for 5 years and $70 million at that time. So Theo was kind of doing his thing to kind of retool and rebuild at the same time. Dustin Pedroia comes up at that time. Euclid is someone that had already been on the roster for a few years. He came in as a rookie in that 2004 team. So, it was a good mix of vets, a good mix of, homegrown talent. And, this was the first of 3 AL East championships in a row. Obviously, 2007 they ended up winning. But yeah, this team caught fire pretty quickly, and behind the leadership of Josh Beckett, he was ready for war on a regular basis that year, and he set the tone pretty quickly, and they followed his lead.
Yeah, this is for everyone out there under the age of 23. Josh Beckett was indeed at a time not fat. This is a true thing. He was a dominant pitcher, straight up dominant. 2007. Mike, what do you mean?
Yeah, so I remember going into the season. You think the thing that sticks out to me about 2006 minus Nick Poppy was the fact that we put out like a 50-year-old David Wells as a part of our pitching staff in 2006. Like it was a lackluster team Then the offseason 2007, as Ray mentioned, you get like Lowell, you get Josh Beckett, you get Julio Lugo, but then you pay $51 million just to talk to Daisuke Matsuzaka, and then you get him. And
the gyro ball.
Like you just didn't know what was going to happen. I mean, over the last like the two previous big Japanese signings was obviously Ichiro Suzuki and Hideki Matsui, and you just didn't know. Like you wanted a piece of that, and that I remember the opening day roster. Now Kurt Schilling wasn't in 2007 what he was in 2004, but like you go through that lineup and it's Lugo, Euclid, Poppy, Manny, JD, Drew, Mike Lowell, Loretta, Coco Crisp at center, Dustin Pedroia, and then Dustin Pedroia is your 9. Like that. That is you think about it now, but even then, like that's a loaded lineup. So this team was, I think, like, as Ray mentioned early on, from April 18th of that year, I think, because when did they honor everyone that came out in like greenish jerseys because Red Auerbach had died in the off season, and they kind of honored him. I think that was like early April. That might have even been the Patriots Day game, but they were in first place in that division from mid-April until the end.
Yeah, the 017, there's a pretty clear catalyst to me of when this team got started. But before we get into that, I want to do what we always do. We introed the team, introed what we're doing here. Time to get in time machine, guys. Going back 2007. So we talked about this on the Patriots podcast from 04. iPhone hadn't been released yet. 2007, the first iPhone had been released, everyone. The primaries were happening for the U.S. presidential election. Front runners are Mitt Romney and Hillary Clinton. Yeah. Who ended up winning that 07? Wasn't that Obama?
Barack in 2008.
Yeah, Obama, right? Yeah. He wasn't even on the list of the primary front runners that I pulled up. I mean, that's really 2000. We started at Dean College, at least me and Mike did.
2006.
Well, we were freshmen. We graduated in 06. So 06, 07, we started at Dean College. And yeah, I mean, this to me, 2007 was kind of like the first period for all of us that we kind of turned into like adults and we started doing our own thing. It was a very meaningful Red Sox team to me. I've never been to more sports games in a season than I did for this 2000 Red Sox season. I loved every aspect of this team. Going back to what you guys said about 06. That 06
Can I throw a fun fact out there?
Yeah, go ahead.
While you're still in the in 2007, a little show called the Sunday Night Sports Rep was conceived.
Yeah, let's come on. That's the biggest news out of everything we just noted.
Big league.
iPhone released Sunday Night Sports Rap.
That's right.
Inaugural episode 2007.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Yeah, right? Nice. I remember that intro, bro. Bum, 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 bum. Motor ray. What? For that one?
No.
Yeah, your compilation, bro. I'll never forget it. It was so good.
I wasn't in it.
Yeah, you were, bro. You did.
I was never on a sports rep with Ray.
No, but I think it was before Ray. You did. It doesn't matter. It literally does not matter at all. So, so 06. That 06 team wasn't that good. We kind of sold short on the rent-to-read deal from 05. We got rid of him. But what
I forgot about that. Wow.
We went from having a catalyst at shortstop to trying to sign a big guy, get money again, go through all that to just straight up defense. That's what they did in 06, where it was Alex Gonzalez. I don't know if you guys remember Alex Gonzalez, and their second baseman was Mark Loretta. But that was their starting middle infield of the 2006 Red Sox. Like you said, David
fair, Alex Gonzalez had just won a few years prior in Florida.
And it was Alex Gonzalez was great, but he was clearly a step down from obviously Renteria failed. So that was a complete failure, which, signing the guy who made the last out of the World Series against you. Right, I did. Yeah, but this 07 team. So I just feel like they kind of saw that mistake. This was like the 07 Red Sox were like what was the year after the Pats lost to the Colts? That was the undefeated season. This was the undefeated season of that Red Sox team. Because they saw their mistakes, they saw where they were short-sighted and thought they could just kind of ride their way into a championship with this core, but they were clearly wrong. And what did they do? They went out and made significant moves. You guys already mentioned him. As much as I despised him, literally my least favorite Red Sox ever, Julio Lugo was an absolute, I hated Julio Lugo. He was an absolute Red Sox killer before he came to Boston with Tampa Bay. And then, well, I'm pretty sure J.D. Drew was the prize free agent of that offseason. If not, he was one of the top 5 prize free agents of that offseason. Went out and got Daisuke. So this was kind of that first iteration of the Red Sox actually going out and making moves that matched the top players of the MLB, right? I mean, you'd think back before this, the only other big one was like Manning and I guess Pedro too. But like those were the big ones. But this was more of like they actually were making moves, not just to make moves and have like a big name, but they were filling holes in their roster with guys who actually mattered. I mean, like we said, bringing in fuck is the shortstop? Who are we just talking about?
Julio Lugo.
Bringing in Lugo as much as it maybe didn't work out in the long run for 2007, it did work out. Also, J.D. Drew, like you guys said, J.D. Drew. You know, I know there's a lot of opinions about J.D. Drew, but we'll get to it later. Worth every penny because of one goddamn swing of the bat. So I don't care what anyone says. One swing of the bat. The trade, maybe one of the best trade. Was Hanley's great. But getting Josh Beckett and Mike Lowell for Hanley Ramirez is a no-brainer. No-brainer. That's one of the best trades the Red Sox have ever made, in my opinion. It set them up for literally a run of great seasons up until the Popeye season, essentially. So that 06 offseason to me was one of the most important in Red Sox history, just because it was the first time that we saw them actually make moves that like you were like, holy shit. They're doing this. They're not just filling these holes. We're not bringing in like a Scott Hatterberg or a Todd Walker or
J.D. Snow.
JT, right? Exactly. Brian Dahlbach, bringing in these guys who were awesome. Like I loved them, you know. Wow. But we're gonna move the needle for you. Like they're not gonna be guys that are gonna take it to the next level. I mean, even the bullpen. Right, even the bullpen, they were making moves. They promote this young up and coming guy. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of him before. His name is Jonathan Papelbon. He comes out as an elite closer, which is honestly the biggest thing the Red Sox were missing for years. That was year in and year out the pain in the heart of Red Sox fans everywhere was that bullpen. So having Papelbon come in, Timlin, Embry,
Hideki Okajima.
Okajima was nails, bro. That dude was. He didn't even look at home plate when he threw the ball. The favorite part about it. Yeah, I mean, so coming into the season, my hopes were high. It was the highest they had been, maybe ever, because even 04, my hopes weren't very high. This is definitely the highest hopes that I ever had for a Red Sox team. What do you guys remember coming into the season about it?
I was never really a runner. The way I see running is a gift, especially when you have stage 4 cancer. I'm Anne. I'm running the Boston Marathon, presented by Bank of America. I run for Dana-Farber Cancer Institute to give people like me a chance to thrive in life, even with cancer.
Join Bank of America in helping Anne's cause. Give if you can at BofA.com/supportAnne. What would you like the power to do? References to charitable organizations is not an endorsement by Bank of America Corporation. Copyright 2025.
Yeah, I mean, I think talk about 04, right? They didn't catch fire until after the All-Star break. This from the very beginning, this felt like a team that if everyone stayed healthy, they should be a perennial first place team throughout the entire season. The only thing for me about this team going into it was their starting pitching, because Curt Schilling is, again, not 04 Curt Schilling. Like this is 2007 Curt Schilling. You have Daisuke, Josh Beckett, Tim Wakefield, Julian Tavares, and you had to piece together a rotation. But if they could give you 5 or 6 innings, the bullpen was going to be nice.
I forgot JC Romero. We signed him too coming into the season. He's a big time name back in 07. Ray, what do you remember coming in?
Yeah, I was just hungry to see what Ortiz and Ramirez were going to do. I felt like yesterday Ortiz came off a career year the year before. So I just wanted to see, like, hey, but you showed up in 04, you showed up in 05. Once again, you showed up offensively, but you had 2 back-to-back years where you fell short of the goal. So which at the least was to make a run. And once again, we weren't. There was still grace being given to the wrestlers at the time because obviously they just won. So the grace period was extended. They had an extended warranty there, but thankfully, like I said, Theo saw they needed to make tweaks, and he was allowed to by ownership. Obviously that's not a thing of the current day, but then they were allowed to do things. But it's funny you bring up the Lugo thing because I remember you said it right. Lugo was someone that
Killer, bro.
Yeah, whatever he wanted. Like, he was the Ish Smith of shortstops. But he was Ish Smith would kill something, but I'm like, yeah, Lugo in Tampa Bay was damn near looked like Alex Rodriguez at times, on the field.
Gabe Vincent, the present day stuff.
Gabe Vincent, yeah. But what's crazy, right? That Lugo signing, I think, started where the analytic nerds started to really take over, right? It was like, like he does really well against left-handed.
He sucked.
He didn't do things like that. That's where the analytics started to really take over. It was like, he does well against lefties, and he
won't make 60 errors in a year.
Won't make 60 errors like the year before, and it's like So I think that's what it was, and like I said, for that particular season, yeah. Well, he does have one great moment that we'll talk about shortly, but which wasn't even a big hit. It was just something that happened. But say it again.
It said his biggest hit on the Red Sox uniform was a little.
Yeah.
We're gonna roll out in front of the plate over here. We're not really gonna go anywhere.
We say that, but 16 years later, we still remember it.
Oh,
So remember the play. I remember exactly where I was at when it happened too. So
I mean, That's perfect. Obviously there's other guys who come in during the season and end up being very significant when it comes to Red Sox history, when it comes to like Youkilis, Pedroia obviously wins Rookie of the Year this year. Ellsbury actually makes an appearance at the end of this season. So there's a lot of names that come up during the 2007 season.
I was not a fan of him early on.
Jacoby?
Oh, Pedroia.
Oh, Pedroia. Yeah, bro. He's terrible. So before we get
talk way too much.
So before we get into that, because I was also calling for his head. I think it was like 061 at the end of May, something like that. He was hitting. But so speaking of May, there's a very big day in May for everyone everywhere. It's called Mother's Day. And it is now a word that is always associated with the Boston Red Sox because of one thing, which was the absolute 100% catalyst for this team, sparking off what they were, and that was the Mother's Day miracle. It was an absolute ridiculous win. So we said we remember where we were. Fun fact, everyone out there, it's legal now. I really enjoy smoking weed. So what I was doing was I gave up on this game, and I was like, fuck this. I'm going to pick up some weed. Fuck this team. I'm out of here. So I went and pick it up and listened to it on the radio. Listened to our boy Tony call that game. Is that his name? Tony? Is that right?
No, Joe.
Joe. What am I talking about? Yeah, Joe called it, and it was one of the best things I've ever listened to on the radio in my life, man. I was going nuts by myself. Probably fucking cops noticing me and shit because I'm in the car. Like, yeah. That's one of my favorite Red Sox moments ever, just because it was so unexpected. And again, it's such the epitome of Julio Lugo. His biggest hit in a Red Sox uniform went 8 feet, and it was amazing, bro. I honestly don't remember anything else about that comeback. Don't remember a thing. I just remember Julio Lugo's little like, and we won. Fucking won. Fucking Orioles, bro. They sucks.
Was that the same year that Ortiz got in the fight with Kevin Gregg? And Kevin Gregg was yelling to run down the first baseline. Ortiz was
yeah. I think so.
He basically Ortiz says, fuck you. Gray says, fuck you back. And they started swinging on one another like that. That was insane. But yeah, I wanted to get back to the Pedroia thing. Like, yeah, like he comes in and once again, he still wasn't hitting great. It was a little more than 0-60. It was like he was hitting like 150, which is still terrible. And I was just like, yo, like for you to be talking this much, he was my original Peyton Pritchard. I was like, you can't talk this much and not deliver. And to his credit, as he says in the playoffs, he was saying 150, and then what after that, laser show.
Laser show.
And so I'm glad it was a laser show because obviously he turned out to be one of the greatest Red Sox ever. But like I said initially, yeah, I hated when he was in the lineup. I thought that he just wasn't someone that was going to pan out. I was like a guy this small, talking this crazy, and he'll be lucky to be, a Luis Soto, type player. That was a great or Ricky Leday type guy. You know what I'm saying? Like that. That's what I thought he was going to be. So for those that are under a certain age, you don't probably know who those are. So I'm aging myself again, but they were great. They were great role players for the dominant Yankees back in the day. But that's where I thought that he was going to max out as. Thankfully, I was wrong. He became a really key contributor. But yeah, like you said it, Bobby, like that Mother's Day miracle really is the defining moment of that regular season. Like to me, what made that team special was really the postseason run. Like I said, we'll get into that, but during the regular season, like there's not really games you're like, oh, I remember the game. That's how the Mother's Day miracle was really the playoff run is really what made fans connect with the city. I mean,
go ahead. So the Lugo thing for me on the Mother's Day miracle, it stands out. I think you think about that game, they're down 5-0 going into the bottom of the ninth, right? Then it was I think Lugo, I don't know if he popped out, but he hit a ball to shortstop, right? He's out, so it's 1 out. And then like a weird play happens where
they battered around.
Yeah, like Coco Chris like popped up, but they let the ball drop and they could not throw him out. And then the Orioles bring in people will forget about it, but here's a reference for Ray. They bring in their closer, Chris Ray, right?
Yeah.
Who was like their Mariano Rivera. Yeah. And then he walks JD Drew and Kevin Euclid on 8 straight pitches. And now it's 5-2. And then once that happens, once your closer does that, like we saw it in 2004 with Rivera, once your closer loses confidence, it's over. And it just all hell broke loose after that.
Yeah, and that was the thing with this Red Sox team too, is like once they got going, once you gave them that little bit of life, you were fucked, man. The other big moment, Jerry Remy said it, he called it in July. Clay Buckholz as a rookie throwing a no-hitter in July was magical. I think he
no, that wasn't that early. Because he was a call-up. He was a call-up. That happened in September.
It was in September. Was that late, really?
They Lester got the next year, but that's another year. But that was
But yeah, so
it happened.
it happened. Yeah, July, September, whatever. He said a special season, or a special Red Sox season had this magical moment. It was something along those lines. Buckholz has the no-hitter. I'll never forget the curveball he threw to get that last strike, bro. It was the filthiest curveball I've ever fucking seen in my life. It was unbelievable.
Take a vet the other night, but
that was don't shame this Red Sox team by bringing up the current iteration of the Boston Red Sox. Right?
Let's see the case. But I'm like
completely separate organizations. Okay. So those are the 2 moments for me. Definitely. I really can't think of many other ones. Those 2 specifically stand out the most, other than, the Pedroia laser show moment later, how he took off like he did. Those are the big moments.
Even on a personal note too, and I know we can all resonate with this, like, John Lester comes up the year before, gets shut down because he has lymphoma, some type of cancer,
It was Hodgkin's, wasn't it?
I think it was. Yeah.
So he comes back the next year, comes back in 2007. He's back in remission, thankfully, and he becomes. Remember, they were patchworking that bottom of the rotation. He becomes, which is so wild to think that he was their number 4 guy. Like that's crazy. Like the thing about what he became in his career, I would think that he was the number 4 guy at one point. It was like, wow. But then he throws a no hitter the next year against Kansas City, and that was special to watch. But yeah, I just think like that was the, I say, you don't remember necessarily the games in the regular season, but the emergence of Pedroia, the emergence of Papelbon, the emergence of Ellsbury, Buckholz, like they became guys that became staples for the run that came eventually. So that part was cool to see their progression. And then, like I said, the postseason is where, like I said, things really crystallized.
Yeah. It's why you guys keep bringing up this pitching rotation. And, I was like, what are you talking about? But you're 100% right. There's not a single person besides Beckett, Tavares, Schilling was close. That had under a 4 ERA. Schilling was a little under. It was like a 3.8. But he was hurt most of the year. Everyone else was above 4 ERA. Julian Tavares started almost 20 games for a World Series winning team. Julian fucking Tavares.
7-11 with a 5 point something ERA.
Did Schilling throw a 1-hitter against Oakland that year?
Against Oakland, bro. Yep. After he gave up, he shook up. He shook. He says it's one of his biggest regrets of his career. Veritek called for, I don't know what it was, a curveball, something. He shook Veritek off, and he gave up a hit on the next play.
The kids are still at practice, and I have no idea what's for dinner.
You can get a rotisserie chicken and 2 sides for just $15 in as fast as an hour with Walmart Express Delivery.
Who said that? Who's in my house? Don't play with me, because I'm not the one.
It's just your friendly Walmart announcer. This is a commercial.
Oh, okay. You were saying dinner for a family was just $15?
Yep. It'll be at your door by the time you get the kids home from practice. Order now. Welcome to your Walmart. Subject to availability. Restrictions and fees apply.
Now, that was a helpful commercial.
Yeah, I was doing that. So, okay, so it's once again, just where, like I said, the memory.
More you talk, it comes back.
But yeah, that was to come back. But yeah, that's so sorry. That's another define. We're probably another moment that I think about as the show goes on. But yeah, I remember the one hit game. I remember that. I was like, man, I was like, damn, it says at 41, he's still dealing like this. But like I said, Beckett, I think, was the only 20-game winner, I think, that year as well.
And he still didn't win the fucking Cy Young Award. They lost it. CC Sabathia.
Oh, I thought it was Cliff Lee. Because Cliff Lee was nasty at that time, too. Sabathia was, too.
Yeah. He was dirty.
That dude was so fucking good then, bro.
We'll get into that.
That was right before that whole Milwaukee thing, too, right? He was so good that year, too.
So, quick aside, that's a top 3 run that I've seen from a pitcher in the postseason. But he didn't.
Oh, bro, yeah, it's not close.
That was unreal. So, but
didn't happen yet. Didn't happen yet. One of the biggest. I wouldn't be me if I didn't point out like a negative. I remember being so excited because you get one of the best relievers in
bro, you just beat me too. You took it right on my brain.
In the game, and Eric Gagne signs with the team.
Oh, he was so bad.
He had. Did he have like was it a 6.7 ERA?
That was.
So yeah, this was my buddy Rob actually lived in Jersey City at this time, and I went to stay with him to go to a Baltimore, like two of the 3 games in Baltimore. That was the Gagne series, bro, where I've never seen a pitcher implode like he did in that series. It was unbelievable. It was like, there's no way he's going to do it. It was comical. That's where he gave up the home runs. You're like, what the fuck is going on?
18 innings pitched, 14 runs allowed. All of them earned.
Bad.
All of them earned.
We were so bro. I was so pumped when we got Eric Gagne. So pumped.
Well, but his downfall, I think, happened maybe like a year or maybe even 2 prior to that, right? Obviously, he was terrible here, so that's what we're acknowledging. But him and Bonds are going at it. This is when he's prime Eric Gagne.
I remember that,
and they're going like well. Might let me know we're running time machine, so I can't bring up the play I was going to bring up. But anyways, it was a back and forth of epic proportion, and I love the Giants as a play-by-play guy because he goes back and forth, and then Bonds gets him as he got most pitchers. Hits it high, hits it, it's out of here until McCarthy comes. Like, and I was just like, yeah. I was like, if you can't get 99 past this guy. And he got you again. I feel like that was kind of like the beginning of the end for Gagne. And every closer has their run. Pat had his run. Gagne had his run. The only guy that was super consistent I could think of off the top was Hoffman and
Mo.
Mo. That's about it.
Yeah, I mean, so really to sum it up, is this 07 Red Sox team was a wagon. Beginning to end, they were the king of the AL East. It was the first time, I want to say since 96, I think that we won the AL East. Yeah, 95, which was awesome. And
Kennedy is the manager.
They didn't just that's a name.
That's wild. What was
before Jim Williams and shit. Yeah, so I mean, this team was just a wagon. At beginning to end, they ruled the AL and went into the playoffs. As I want to look up the 2000 MLB landscape looked like real quick. But I want to say they were the favorite going into the playoffs, right? I mean,
the Angels won the wild card, or they won the AL West, so we faced them, and I think the Yankees faced the Indians. I think
Guardians.
Well, they're
Cleveland. They faced they played Cleveland. Okay,
yeah. So
the Cleveland baseball team.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So, what was the? So we swept the Angels.
Pretty major league.
We dominated the Angels. I remember that. Ortiz and Manny absolutely took that series over. I think game 1 they both hit bombs. I'll never forget Manny hit that bomb into the fountain, or
on left down. I'm doing the motion
with the hand. Yeah, the hand up one. But then in the game 3 clincher, he also hit a bomb to center field into that fountain. It was like, bro, that's it. This is over.
Over.
Pull out the fucking park. I just played in parking lot.
Historically, I mean, at that time, and even times after that, we've handled Anaheim, California, wherever they've been at. Whether it was Dave Moore pitching to Dave Henderson, he hits a home run first to go to the World Series in '86. I think something happened in the '70s as well. But yeah, whenever they took the corpse of Mo Vaughn, so thank you. So it's just like whenever it comes to Anaheim, California, outside of what they did a few years before, that team just didn't do well against the Red Sox, and I think they swept them. They swept them again, right, for the second time in a row at that time.
Yeah,
They swept them 04. They swept them 07.
There were 4 teams in Major League Baseball in 2007 that had more than 94 wins. They were all in the American League.
Oh, please! So
it was stacked.
Yeah. LA, Boston, who else?
Yankees, right?
Yankees.
Yankees. Yeah. So
like you just said, get the landscape of the MLB a little bit. So like you said, Cleveland, Yankees, Boston, those are the 3 dominant teams in the MLB. Arizona was the surprise team out west. This was post, obviously Randy and everything like that. They rebuilt Brandon Webb. Levon Hernandez. Levon Hernandez was still dealing at this time.
Wow.
The Rockies, who we'll get to later, had just rattled off, I think it was like 24 straight wins in September to make the playoffs, won their wild card game, and just ended up running rampant through the NL into the World Series. It was one of the biggest Cinderella stories like in baseball history, I remember. But
yeah, since that Oakland team 2 years before that, they won 20 straight. 20 straight like in 02.
That's right. A little thing I want to touch on before we get into the obviously the biggest series of this entire series season with the Sox and the Cleveland baseball team. The funniest moment of the MLB season, and that's in the Yankees-Indians series, where Java Chamberlain got absolutely dealt one of the plagues from God and got absolutely covered in mosquitoes and completely blew the Yankees season because he was covered in just the most bugs I've ever seen on a baseball field in my entire life. It was the most unbelievable scene I've ever seen in my life. Never seen it since. Literally nothing like that has ever happened again. Java Chamberlain out there.
They kept spraying him. They kept doing.
There was one clip, I'll never forget it. They zoom in on his face. He's melting down. I think he threw less than half his pitches for strike. They zoom in on his face, bro. And you're like, I don't know if he's going to have it. You see one of these gigantic ass bugs coming to land right on this fucker's eye. Just like, bang. And he's about to throw a pitch, and he's just like, and he fucks it out. I don't know. Had brain. One of the best. It was so satisfying to see because the Yankees it was so embarrassing to see them lose like that after they lost, 4. It was magical. And I thought we were going to kill the Cleveland team.
But to add to that, right? That year, 'cause I think that was A-Rod's 3rd season in New York, 4th season. He had finally started to figure it out that year.
Yeah, he was a monster that year. He was a monster.
He had a few game winners. I remember that one he had against Minnesota. He hit one against us, I think, earlier that season. Like, he started to really get that clutch gene there. And it was like, okay, like now, finally, it's time for him to ascend back to what he was in the late 90s and early 2000s. And like you said, literally a play from the Bible. Literally ended their season. And, I could see my grandmother smiling from ear to ear. She was like, did he shower?
But it's unbelievable.
Did he shower? I was like, I don't know what he did, but I'm glad that they are losing. But listen, I mean, and we ended up finding out how good that Cleveland baseball team was, led by, my guy, Travis Hafner. Hafner was an absolute monster, and so was Foster.
Travis Hafner. Wow, that's a name.
Him, Foster.
Grady Sizemore.
Grady Sizemore, the original Jacoby Ellsbury. So yeah, man. I mean, we'll get into it, but yeah, that Cleveland team, really throughout our childhood through teams, like they just had a roster. Like, they always had guys that came that roster. It did damage.
Yeah, man. So we'll get right into that then. So we knock out the Angels. Cleveland beats the Yankees, and now we have a showdown: Cleveland versus Boston in the ALCS. I thought we were going to dominate them. If I'm being perfectly honest, I did not see the start of this series starting like it did. I was shocked.
Well, it started out the right way.
Right. Well, game 1 did, yeah. But so, let me pull up actually what happened. I was looking at Jabba getting
Beckett goes crazy game 1.
Yeah, it goes crazy. I think Pedroia hit it's all coming back to me. First time in MLB history, opening playoff series, leadoff home run by Pedroia, and Beckett struck out the side against the Indians, and it was like, it was on. It was on. We were, I was already celebrating going to the World Series. It was like after we beat Philly in game 1 of the second round this year in basketball. I was like, bro, book our trip to the finals. We're going. It was over, man. Game 2, different story. Definitely different story. It was a lot closer than it looked. It did go to extra innings, but extra innings blew up on us real quick. I want to say this is a great Sizemore game. Victor Martinez was huge for them in this game. I just remember
he was for us too later on, but
he was awesome for us. But
sorry, Mike, didn't happen yet. Sorry, didn't happen yet.
A couple names we haven't named yet in this. So Manny Del Carmen got absolutely shelled in this game. Dorchester's own, bro.
Hey, baby, I love that.
Dorchester's own, and Trot Nixon. Trot Nixon had a tough game too. He ended up.
That was really weird seeing him in a Cleveland uniform. It was weird.
I forgot he ended up playing for Cleveland. Yeah. Trot Nixon was my guy. I love Trot Nixon. I'll always have a soft spot for him and his dirty ass helmet.
Good dog, baby.
Then Daisuke lost game 3. He was all right. He was typical Daisuke, where he gives up 2 hits, but somehow gives up 4 runs. Those Daisuke's MO. It was typical Daisuke. Down 2-1. Going into game 4, I was a little nervous, not going to lie. We had I don't even want to call him consistent. I don't even know what to call him. The dude who was always on the mound every time I went to a Red Sox game in my entire life, Tim Wakefield. He was Tim Wakefield in that game. I mean, there's not much you can do trying to ask a knuckleball pitcher to keep you in a series like he was. Like, you know what I mean? It was very clear that this dude was not the guy you want starting a win or go home game. I mean, he gave up 7 runs in 1 inning in this game, which was like Wakefield's MO at the time. It was like once that knuckleball started flying, it started flying. And that's what it did in this game. And that's what brought them into this 3-1 hole. I know I just kind of sped through that real quick because obviously like the next 3 games are the most important part. But anything you want to add on this 3-1 hole coming into this?
Yeah, it just kind of goes with the narrative that, we end up hating now, current day, right? Like, if it ain't rough, it ain't right. It can never go smoothly, right? Once again, we just talked about they ran through the American League. They ran through Major League Baseball. You win the AL East for the first time in 12 years at that time, and you go down 3-1 to the younger Cleveland baseball team. Like, it's just like, what? There you go, got you, baby. Let's say, what are we what are we doing? Thank God that in Game 5, Cleveland's PR team chose to do something dumb and have
Bro, what were they thinking?
And have her sing the national anthem. And I said, okay, like, great. Like, I didn't need any more motivation, but since you fuckers want to play with me, okay, it's time to play. And he come out once again, gives us another strong outing. I think he went 7 or 8 that night. And but the key to that game was the back-to-back solo home runs. And it was again, Manny's hilarious because Manny hit the third one in a row, and you would have thought that they tied the game. I'm like, dude, we're still down 7-3. But that was such a Manny Ramirez type move. But obviously they end up winning that game. And then we get to Game 6, obviously. But like you alluded to it earlier with the JD Drew play once again. That's another play you remember exactly where you were.
Yeah, don't speed through that.
Yeah, right. Hang on. But just in Game 5, like, I was happy to see that Beckett had did what he needed to do just to get us back in a position to get back to Boston and eventually take care of business.
Yeah, I think Game 5 for me. That's why I was so mad. I'm still so mad that Josh Beckett didn't win the Cy Young that year because he goes up against the Cy Young winner and Game 1 beats him. Right. I mean, he's not going. He's not scoring the runs, but he's also not letting up any runs for Cleveland. I think Cleveland scored. It was 10-3, Game 1. Then Game 5, it's 7-1. I mean, and Beckett was on. Like, he was nails. He was what Schilling was for us in 04, right? Like that. You just knew that when he took the mound, you just weren't going to beat him. And up until that point, I mean, to be down 3-1, I remember thinking like this. We look at it now and say like it's a young Cleveland team, but to be completely honest, they had the exact same record as the Red Sox that year. They were 96 and 66. Like it was that was as much of a wagon as we were. They just weren't, no one thought of them that way. And Game 5, I just thought like you're not going to go out this way. And unlike what happened in 04 in this series, the big hitters for us were doing really well. I mean, I think Manny hit 4. What the hell was it? Was it 409 that series? Yeah, he hit 409. And he was on fucking fire the entire time. So you just felt like it as long as, Julian Tavares never took the mound, or as long as you didn't let up 7 runs in an inning, this team was going to have a chance to come back.
Yeah, and that's exactly what, Game 5 looked like they might start doing. I remember coming into Game 5, we all knew what this series was going to come down to because the way it was setting up, it was Josh Beckett's series. It really was so Beckett already had his moment with the Marlins, but this is what really solidified him as one of the biggest or one of the best big game pitchers of this era, because it just seemed like when you put him out there in these times, he didn't just pitch well, he pitched great. They could not touch him that night. He went 8, 11 strikeouts, postseason high or career high, and gave up 1 run. I think he only gave up 3 or 4 hits. It was an amazing game. I mean, we dominated this game from moment 1. Uke hit a home run in this game. The Indians, though, to me, they did this to themselves. They set themselves up for this failure. Like, guys, you haven't won a World Series since like your own Red Sox levels of curses of dry spells at this point, and still today. And you're sitting out here just throwing it in the baseball god's face. Like, oh, we're so confident. Here's Josh Beckett's ex-girlfriend. Yeah, fuck you, Josh Beckett. Oh, we're going to play All-American Rejects. It ends tonight. Yeah, all right. Yeah, guys.
Well,
you haven't won a World. They made a movie, a one of the most famous sports movies ever about how much this team loses. And you're going to throw it in the baseball god's face like that? Like, come on, guys. You can't, everyone who's ever been around baseball, whether you're a Cubs fan, whether you're, a fan of these teams that just lose and lose. Baseball is the one sport, man, where you can feel it start to unravel pitch by pitch by pitch. And it's these small things. And to me, I think things like this have such a big, it's like Grady Little not taking out Pedro. It's these small things that just end up so much bigger. It's like when you don't let the moment come to you and you try and like, oh, we got this shit, bro. Nope, not happening. Because guess what? It's the same script as what Millar said in 04. We got to win game 5, and you got to show game 6, and that's exactly what happened. Kurt Schilling had been a shell of himself all season.
He went 7 innings.
Bro, he was nails in this game. I remember being terrified. I remember Fausto Carmona. This was kind of his unraveling. I don't think he was ever the same really after this, but he was awesome.
Would you have been the same after what happened?
What?
No, I said, would you have been the same after what happened?
Definitely not. He was awesome this year. It showed how good he was. Where I remember specifically, he got Manny to strike out with I think it was like dudes on second. It was a big at bat, and he got Manny to K. And I was like, oh god damn it, he's on tonight. No, he wasn't. Ended up actually getting 4 on maybe the biggest hit. No, not maybe. 100% the biggest hit of JD Drew's career.
Yes.
The one hit that made a 5-year, $90 million deal worth it. The one hit that brought him so much grace within Boston that we signed his less talented brother to a long-term contract 3 years later when he was over the hill because, bro, remember that time he hit the grand slam? Yeah, come on, bring your brother on board. I actually like Steven Drew. That was me.
Got one for us too.
That was me. But no, it was the biggest hit ever. I remember I brought my ex-girlfriend to a Broadway play the night of this game, Grease. And I was so mad that I was missing this, like such a diehard Red Sox fan. I'll never forget being like, I just want something to happen early. I just want to look at my phone and be like, oh, thank God, and be able to enjoy this show. And I'll never forget looking down at my phone and just seeing it change from 0 to 4 in the first inning and see JG Drew hit that grand slam. In middle of the show, I'm not even fucking kidding. Middle of the show, I went, yes! Bro, the performers on stage looked at me. I swear on my fucking life. It was one of the coolest moments ever. Just because, like I said, it just brought so much relief. And it was like, all right, we're going to do this. When JD Drew, after the season, he had the shit that he put up with, all that shit. When he's the guy that takes it over the edge like that, to me, that's a sign. You know what I mean? It's like the baseball gods being like, leave. Hey, how about JD Drew ruined your life? Doesn't that suck?
This is for you.
Here, guys. But yeah, what do you guys remember about 6?
Yeah. So once again, apologies because I was about to jump the gun because I was just so excited to talk about this particular moment.
Rachel, what about game 3? He's like, bro, game 6 was just so
crazy. Once again, this was me and my grandmother's thing. So a lot of my stories include her. So she was making her famous fried chicken, had some biscuits. We were sitting there enjoying it. And she was just like,
you just made me want fried chicken and biscuits so bad.
It was, listen, my mouth was salivating right now thinking about it.
Is that fried chicken? No, is that fried chicken that has like the little grease and the wrinkles of the chicken? And you know what I'm talking about? Like the little.
And wait, and crinkle cut fries can't be done. But yeah, phenomenal. Yeah.
Picture thoroughly painted, Rachel.
Yeah, so yeah, phenomenal. So yeah, we're sitting there. Obviously, bases are loaded. And my grandma was the same way. She was just like, man, like, so Tim Wakefield was like her number one guy that she couldn't stand. Like JD Drew that year was like a very close number 2. So she was just like, come on.
Horrible, bro. He was so bad.
He's like, come on, number 7, just do something. And Foster Carmona, who had a really good 2-seamer, a really good sinker.
His slider was
good too, but the sinker was really his pitch that he really relied on. And he left that sinker up, and JD Drew, who had a slight uppercut swing, down all of it and hit it the dead center, which is the biggest part of that ballpark. And man, he got all of it into that Boston night, and I love it because he never showed emotion. So I loved him running around the base. He just gave a little quick fist pump.
One fist pump.
That was kind of like, oh, thank you, because I'm like, I needed this. Now, once again, I know time machine, like I get it, but I have to bring it up because it's context of JD Drew. He did get another big hit the next year.
I know. I remember.
Did. So there was another hit that people remember from him. But yeah, that by far one of the biggest hit of his career. One of the best moments in Boston sports history. So I'm glad that he is forever remember for that, because remember, like, he was really good in Atlanta. He was really good in St. Louis. He was really good in LA. So I just felt like it shouldn't have been overshadowed by what he did in Boston. But once again, he ended up winning. He ends up.
Listen, he ended up having a successful career. He played 5 years in Boston. I didn't realize he played that long.
Yeah.
Well, so when he hit that ball, like I remember, I think it was it was probably in a dorm that Bobby was supposed to be in, but he was at a Broadway musical. I just started fucking screaming.
His sacrifices, bro. That relationship was really far. It was totally worth it to miss Game 6 of an ALCS.
Moving on. So I remember when he hit and I just thought to myself, there's no way that Schill's going to let up 5 runs. He just isn't going to do it. Like you just won the game. He might not have it left. Like, Toby Keith once said, I'm not as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was. And Schill came out in just 7 innings. I think, what was it? 2 earned runs, 6 hits. Like, it was, he pitched a great game. And I don't want to get ahead of it, but I think that this kind of was the game. This felt like the Game 7 because Game 7 wasn't close. To be down 3 games to 1 in this series, and then outscore your opponent 30-5 in the next 3 games is fucking absurd. In baseball, that is absurd, and that just speaks to the type of wagon that this team was. Like, it was Game 6 was it. If there was any doubt in your mind that this team was going to win a World Series, it went away with one swing of the bat by JD Drew.
Yeah, agreed. And like you said, Schilling coming out and putting that performance was like kind of like that's all we needed. You know what I mean? Yeah. I remember thinking that, like, that's all we needed. Like, we needed one other guy besides Beckett to give us solid innings that we could rely on.
Yeah, that's
what Schill was supposed to be, and that's what he was. Okay.
Yeah, that's what he was, though. I mean, we think about what he did in Arizona, what he did at times in Philadelphia. When he was younger, like, he always rose to the occasion. Like, you can't think of a time that he had moments in the regular season he might have might have slipped up, but in the postseason, like, he was nails, which to me why he deserves to be Hall of Fame. But I know other things that popped up because of that. But yeah, he what he did in the postseason, he was second to none in my opinion. So I'm grateful that he saved that he preserved his best for those moments.
Yep. Yeah, I mean,
100%.
Essentially, yeah, okay. Essentially, he ended his career, put his body through so much to win those 2 championships that it essentially ended his career. I know he was at the back end anyways, but that ankle from 2004 was definitely the start of the end for Kurt. I mean, even this season, it was clear that the end of the line was near for Kurt. There was games where he'd look amazing and the games where he'd look like absolute horseshit. And for him to come out and put this performance together was so magical. I remember it was just like, did he even pitch in the World Series? I don't think he did, right? This might have been his last performance.
Yeah,
I was pulling that out of my head.
No. He pitched Game 2.
He did pitch Game 2. Okay, but yeah, it's one of the last performances of Kurt Schilling's career, literally. wills this team, gives more than he had in the tank, just like he did in 04. It's weird how it was like the same exact tell. Like he comes out game 6 and dominates again. And then game 7, I mean, it's kind of fitting that game 7 starter is none other than Mr. 7 runs in 1 inning, Tim Wakefield. He was awesome. He was awesome in game 7. He was great. He that knuckleball was dancing, and they absolutely no wait. Who started? Daisuke started game 7, didn't he? Am I crazy? Yep. Daisuke started game 7. Yeah, my bad. No, so we can cut all that. So game 7, Daisuke starts, and of course, in Daisuke true fashion, he has a rough start. I remember he had a few walks in the beginning, but he came down. He was nails throughout the rest of it. I mean, I think he only gave up 1 or 2 runs throughout that entire game. I do remember this. It says it right here in my notes. Red Sox came back. Extra petty move on the Red Sox part. They played It Ends Tonight at the beginning of game 7 as a big fuck you to Cleveland. Like, bro, we can do this. We've won a World Series before. What are you doing? And it ended tonight. I mean, that game was an absolute shellacking. 11-2 was the final. And, like you guys said, that when game 6 ended and then game 7 happens and we score a run in each of the first 3 innings, that was it, guys, right? I think Pedroia, did he hit a leadoff home run again?
No, they was up 3-2. They had 1 man on. He hits a bomb to left center that essentially ended it. And that's kind of when, my narrative on him started to change. Cause I was just like, what are we doing? But yeah, he got that home run there. Obviously, Cobra Chris played great defense, but yeah, it was up 3-2, 1 man on. He gets to left field. I remember he jumps into towards Hughes' arms. But yeah, that essentially was the game, and they just went on a tear the rest of that night.
McDonald's meets the Minecraft universe with 1 of 6 collectibles and your choice of a Big Mac or 10-piece McNuggets with spicy Nether Flame sauce. Now available with a Minecraft movie meal.
At participating McDonald's for a limited time, a Minecraft movie only in theaters.
I mean, this was a good Daisuke performance in the sense that he pitched 5 innings and didn't let up 5 runs. I think he let up 2 earned runs that game. But then when you have the ability to say after 5, we're gonna go with Okajima for 2 innings, and then we're gonna go with Pat for 2 innings. They just shut it down. Oh, and by the way, the Red Sox, because they were just fucking toying with the Indians at that point in time in the 8th inning, just decided they're gonna drop 6. Oh, so it was like it was a 5-2 game. Here's 6 more runs. Like, suck on that.
Yeah.
This, before we get into the Rockies series, this bullpen, man, I think when I look back at this team, and like you guys keep bringing up the struggling starting rotation, that bullpen, man, was such a lifesaver. Besides Eric Gagne and his well-documented struggles, they were just a wagon, that entire bullpen from top to bottom. I mean, like you said, we had ever reliable Timlin. We had Embry was still there in 07, right? We had obviously Okajima.
Embry wasn't there, thank God.
Embry was gone by then? Damn, I fucking loved that one, Embry.
You hated Mike Timlin.
I did not like Mike Timlin. You are correct. But it just
he was nails though. He was nails.
I know. It was irrational.
This specific this specific run, Mike Timlin was the balls. I remember he didn't give up a run for like 14 straight innings in the middle. Right?
Were you just forever mad throughout the 3? Is that what it was?
Yes.
Oh, got it. It makes sense. Yeah, I got you. But from 0 for on, he was pretty decent.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, we dominated him. It was over before it began in game 7, and we were going back to another World Series. I mean, I don't know what else to say about this team except this kind of just summarized the entire season in 3 games. Literally, we had a team that at times, has blow ups. Has a guy like Tim Wakefield who give up 7 runs at any time, is struggling starting pitching, giving up double-digit runs. It kind of summarized everything. But then 3 games in a row, timely hits, JD Drew, timely pitching, Josh Beckett, a great bullpen, Okajima, Papelbon coming out as an elite closer, and your absolute dogs, your staples in that rotation coming up big when you needed them most. And it was just perfect to see them go on that run, and it led right into the Rockies, which I was a little nervous, not going to lie. Like we already talked about, I don't know if everyone remembers because this never happens, but the Colorado Rockies were really good in 2007. This was a Rockies team that was a prime Todd Helton. What's his name was an absolute wagon in Colorado that year. Who's the guy who was on Cleveland before? Ubaldo. Jimenez.
Jeff Francis.
Yeah. This Rockies team was really, 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 really good. And like we said, they had won the 20. They won a bunch of games coming into the playoffs. They swept
21 of 22.
21 of 22. Then they swept the first 2 rounds of the playoffs. Didn't lose a single game coming into the World Series. And I was a little nervous coming into it. I wasn't sure what was going to happen. What do you guys remember coming into the World Series? I mean, besides the fact that, fuck yeah, we're back in another goddamn World Series.
Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, and it's hard for me to say this without like sounding cocky, but it's after you're down, you come back from being down 3-1 to a team that has the Cy Young Award winner and has the same record as you. You put up 30 runs in 3 games. You kind of feel invincible. And I thought that the Rockies were a good story. I thought it could have been a unique matchup, but the offense for the Red Sox, like from literally the first batter, Pedroia hits a home run. It just felt like it was going to be another one of those, 2004 World Series where we already saw the most exciting part of this postseason, and this was just a formality.
Right.
Yeah, so I have the same sentiment as Mike. I think that for me, I respected what Colorado did because once again, I like Todd Helton as a player. I don't was Tulowitzki on that team too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah. So yeah,
Troy Tulowitzki.
Oh, Tulo. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I mean, yeah, he was a special talent. Obviously, I don't know if Cargo was there yet. Gonzalez.
Cargo wasn't. What's his name was? Holiday.
Matt Holiday. Yeah. So yeah. So they had some guys there. Like I said, they had some guys that were going to be scrappy and be in fight. But I just felt like they were a team that had extended so much energy just there. It was the first World Series I saw then and since that I thought the series was over after the first game. Like I was like,
right.
It's a wrap. Like when you lose 13-1, I think
after not losing for 2 months.
And after not losing, it was just like, okay. Awesome. It was almost just people that listen to the show know I'm a basketball guy. It was like when the Orlando Magic ran into the Rockets back in the day. The Magic ran through, they swept the Bulls, with Michael Jordan, and then they run into Dream. They lose game 1 being up 20 points, and it's like, oh wait, this is gonna be harder than what it is, and they never recovered. That's exactly I think what happened with Colorado. They were young, they were upcoming, they were on fire. And Josh Beckett comes out there after I think three days rest and was still throwing 97 on the corner. Not erratic, but on the corner throwing 97 and Joe Buck's boring ass. Oh, he's got him again. That's 4 in a row. It's like, dude, this man is fucking dealing. What is wrong with you? I'd have been falling out of my chair. I mean, I literally wasn't home, but I'd have been falling out of my chair as a broadcaster. Like he was just dry as the Arizona desert. But it was ridiculous. But yeah, that series is over at the game 1. Once again, I know that people say, "Oh, I said 2020." But I'm like, when you dominate like that, and like I said, you win in that fashion, and like Mike said, Cleveland was the best team remaining after that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when you got through that team, it was like, okay, like it didn't matter who we faced after. Just like if we could say this now, once again, 19 years later, same thing in 2004. We don't think about it now because of how it happened, but when we beat the Yankees, it didn't matter who we faced, and that Cardinals team was really good. It was excellent. Yeah. But when you beat the Yankees the way you beat, so there's no way that you're losing that after that. So I just think that's what happened. That kind of became a theme with us as time went on, but we'll get into that. But I just think, that series was over after the first game.
Yeah, for sure. I thought it was pretty telling that, well, actually, not telling. Fun fact about game one. You know who closed out game one, final 3 outs? Eric Gagne. Took a 12-run lead for the Red Sox to feel comfortable putting him in the ninth with a lead. It still didn't feel that comfortable. Welcome to the Eric Gagne Sox Hour. Game two.
That's one.
Game two, the Red Sox. It was actually a pretty good game. It was what we expected, or what I expected at least from the series. The Rockies had their actual only lead of the entire series in this game in the first inning. It lasted until the fourth. The Schilling again came out last game of Curt Schilling's career. Last game as a Boston Red Sox for Curt Schilling. Came out, pitched 5 1/3, 1 run, 4 hits. I remember specifically in this game, Mike Lowell hit that. I think it was down the line, if I remember specifically. Correct, right? The double down the line.
Yeah.
And that was really what solidified Lowell, kind of as the MVP.
He's going to get down the line.
Yeah, he was the best throw-in in the history of MLB trades in the history of the world. So thank you, Marlins, for that. It was, such the epitome of Mike Lowell too. That hit where he inside out or stays inside on that inside fastball and just rips it down the line like that. Like such a solid piece of hitting for Lowell.
Well,
yeah, I mean,
he had one more
Papelbon.
That series that we remember too, but it happened in Colorado.
What did?
No, so you were saying about that type of hit, like
down the line one.
He lost that one into the stands. I think it might have been game 4 in Colorado. He went crazy that whole series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about like you open the series with 13 runs, and then you're like, okay, well, the Rockies come in, they're like, you know what, we're gonna play a great game. They play a great game in game 2 against an old veteran, Curt Schilling, who goes 5 1/3, lets up 1 run, and then Okajima and Papelbon shut down the Rockies. You lose that game 2-1. Then game 3, the Red Sox shot 10 runs on them again. Like, when we say, like, for those of you listening, this series was literally over in game 1, because no matter how the Rockies wanted to play, the Red Sox were just going to be better. You want to play a 2-run game, like 2-1, great, we'll win that one. You want to 13, 10 runs, great, we'll do that too. And then game 4, it was just, it never felt close or imminent like the Rockies were going to take advantage of it.
But, yeah, the moment for me was game 3 where I was like, no, because game 3 is obviously big, 2-0, that's the game for the Rockies. You need to win this game. Daisuke Matsuzaka had 2 RBIs. Season over. It doesn't matter after that. Daisuke Matsuzaka had a line drive RBI single in the World Series. He had never had an at-bat in his major league. It was 1 year, but never had an at-bat in his career. And he hits an RBI single in the World Series against you to break the game open.
To become the first Red Sox pitcher to win a game and hit an RBI since Babe Ruth in 1918.
That's unreal. Unreal. Daisuke Matsuzaka, 2 RBIs.
Good company.
Series over. That's it. I mean,
and then your namesake, Bobby Kilty.
Mr. Redhead himself, bro.
Yeah, hits a bomb into left field, and I was like, well, if Bobby Kilty's doing this,
so I said bring that. This is my favorite Red Sox team ever, and that's why, because of dudes like Bobby Kilty, dudes that are such insignificant parts of this team, up and down, that is just makes them the most likable Red Sox roster I can remember. I mean, JD Drew was the least likable person on this roster, right? For sure. Like 100%.
Besides Eric Gagne. Yeah.
Well, besides Gagne, I don't even see Gagne as actually a part of this roster.
He's got a ring.
He does have a ring.
That's so wild. That's so wild.
But I mean, just think about these names. Like, so obviously Veritek, this was the season where we traded back for Mirabelli for the Wakefielders, that whole thing.
The helicopter. Yeah.
Yeah, Euclid, Chris, Ellsbury. Eric Hinsky was on this squad.
Eric Hinsky?
Alex Cora was on
I
this
remember him
team.
too.
Royce Clayton. Like, this team, top to bottom, was just awesome. The entire squad was just awesome. Like,
wow.
There's a reason.
What a name drop.
There's a reason why this is like my prized Red Sox possession. All right. When I think about the Red Sox of now, and it gets me sad, I look at this picture and remember the glory days of the 2007. This team was awesome.
Springfest and Ego Days are here at Lowe's. Right now, get a free Select Ego 56-volt battery with purchase of a Select trimmer, blower, or mower kit. Plus, shop today for new and exclusive items you need for your lawn. So get ready for spring with the latest in innovation from Ego, the #1 rated brand in cordless outdoor power. Only at Lowe's. We help, you save. Offer valid through 4/2. Selection varies by location while supplies last.
Yeah. I mean, it felt like it was a lot like it felt like 04 in the sense that it was great to win, but this felt like 04 was the most important because obviously you broke the curse. But this year in 2007, you were in first place from April 18th on. You win the division, you win the pennant, you win the World Series. Like you left no fucking doubt.
Yeah, I think that was so huge for the psyche of Red Sox fans too, because Yankees fans could always still kind of throw that at you. Where they're like, "Well, took the biggest joke ever. You guys weren't actually good. You just got lucky. Like, well, you didn't actually ever win a World Series. We just blew it. We would have won it. We didn't just blow it. Well, guess what? We fucking dominated everyone, beginning to end, no matter what. I don't have many other final. So, spoiler alert: Game 4 happens. They won Game 4. They swept the Rockies in the World Series. That's how good this team was. A team that had won 20 of 21 games, swept their way to the World Series. They then get their ass swept right out just as fast as they got there. That's what this Red Sox team did. I don't have many other thoughts except I loved this Red Sox team. Like I said, it makes me so sad to look at the state of the Red Sox and remember what a squad this team really was, man, from top to bottom. There's dudes on this Red Sox roster who played maybe 30 games who would be the top 4 players. Man, the Red Sox are doing better now, but like top 5-6 players on the Red Sox right now, and they barely played on this team. They were just a squad. The only reliever I didn't like was Javi Lopez. I fucking hated that guy in his sidearm delivery.
It's just worth noting, like, if you ever just want to like look back at this team and just let's just say their final 7 games, like the last 3 against the Indians and the 4 against the Rockies. In those 7 games, this team scored 30 runs. I mean,
there you go.
Sorry, not 30. They scored 60 runs. They scored 30 in the final 3 games against the Indians and 29 in the 4 games against the Rockies. They averaged almost 10 runs a game the final 7 games of the postseason. I mean, just amazing. Unbelievable.
Yeah, unreal. Should have went back to back, but it's okay.
They should have went back to back. Bullshit.
I know.
Cool fun facts from this. Dirty Water comes out of this season for the Red Sox as their victory song, I'm pretty sure.
No.
It was before this?
Before.
It was before. The whatchamacallit came out. Shipping Up to Boston was this season.
Yes.
Palpabon did his whole, dancing thing on the pitch and mound. That was pretty cool. And yeah. Sox fucking World Series champions.
Mike Lowell wins World Series MVP out of nowhere.
Yep, won World Series MVP. I thought they should have given it to Daisuke personally for that Game 4 performance where he was Shohei Ohtani himself, just raking line drives and can people, sitting them down. But that's my own opinion. Like I said, I just love this Red Sox team, man. There's no better team that summarizes my Red Sox experience, because like I said, I've never been to more games than this. I felt like I won a World Series in 07. I ran the streets in Boston. I did all that shit. One of my friends got arrested for hitting a police dog with a broom because we had swept him. He's such a fucking idiot. We were like, bro, don't go near that fucking dog. What are you doing? He's like, oh, it's great. I hit him with it. Good times though. I mean, come on.
And like animal cruelty to bring up the levity of a.
No, I'm not. I'm not saying it wasn't a good time that he hit. It was bad. He got arrested for a reason. He's a fucking idiot. Drunk college kids are so fucking stupid, especially when they win World Series.
We'll just go to Ray.
Yeah, Ray, go ahead. I'll never forget you count.
Listen, I was, and I said it a few moments ago, but I was happy to see that Lester came back in that series and was able to win that year. But obviously, he was the one that closed out. He closed it. He was a pitcher of record, for Game 4. I'll never forget, Pepper Bond getting that final strikeout, Verite jumping into his arms, they going crazy. But yeah, like I said, a team that just did what they had to do from April to to October. And this is, like I said, I have another personal favorite that's coming, but like I said, this is number 2 for sure. This is my senior year of high school. Obviously, the Patriots were in the middle of what they were doing at the time. Something that got KG. They ended up doing something special later on that year. So it was a fun time to be a Boston fan at that time. And like I said, getting out of high school, seeing Boston dominate, like it was really cool at the time. So I miss it for sure.
Mike,
I mean, it's hard to follow that. This was this team was a wagon. I think it is, if it's not if the best Red Sox team of the last 20, 25 years. I think just from top to bottom, they didn't catch fire; they were fire.
Only 2018 compares, right? It's the only one that compares to how good this team was.
Was 2018 in first for the entirety of the season?
Yeah, they were beginning to end. Same thing.
They won 108 games.
Good.
Yeah, I guess you're right then.
That's by far the best team, though. But we'll get into that. But that's the best team.
Yeah. How many years later? How many years later is it? Yeah, they're all fucking gone. Yeah. So
these guys were gone pretty quickly too after this year too. So
that's
and Manny's gone the next year. That's fucking wild. But that's a whole other conversation another day.
But yeah, I mean, listen, 2007 Boston Red Sox won another goddamn championship, man. It's unbelievable. There are people in Boston championship lore and Boston sports lore who literally were born, watched Red Sox games every day of their life, and never saw them win a championship. Not one time. There's a lot of people that we know personally that lived and died without seeing the Boston Red Sox win a championship. We just saw them win 2 in 3 years. Technically 4. Yeah, 4 seasons. Unbelievable. It was unbelievable. And the way they did it too, with kind of going against the Red Sox lore of old, where we blow the series and we blow these moments and we don't get these calls and all these things. Everything turned for these Red Sox teams. And I'll still always bring it back to this. It's because of the championship mentality and mindset. DNA, right? Funny how that happens. The championship DNA that was instilled in the city of Boston by the New England Patriots in the start of their run. And as much as I hate them, I still give them credit for the Red Sox breaking these curses, for these 2 World Series. I'll be forever indebted to those New England Patriots and all these goddamn championships that we keep talking about. Championship rewrap. We'll be back, ladies and gentlemen. Where are we shipping off to next? Was it 2000? What's next? 2008?
2000. You guys already did 2008. It's 2011 now.
But 28 is going to be releasing soon. So, did we already release 2008? We did, didn't we? Yeah. Okay. So we're skipping over. We're skipping forward to 2011 or our next one. So yeah, I mean, until then, to quote Mike or to quote Rayshon, I guess, where we're going, we don't need roads. Championship DNA, championship rewrap. We're out.
Hi, I'm Sherilyn Fenn from Twin Peaks. What did you do on your last Saturday night?
Did you hear something?
Toilet paper.
There's none. Nada. The reserves have gone dry. People are hoarding it. I should have done that.
They're all out of hand sanitizer at my Target.
Mark, when did you last watch the news?
We are getting reports of forced quarantines in China, Japan, and now Italy.
You're cutting onions in half and putting them around your apartment.
Yes, exactly. It kills the COVID.
Excuse me?
Let's go. Let's go. Get in.
Vamos, rápido.
Have you ever driven one of these?
Never.
I'll drive, ladies.
I've got the keys.
Excuse me, I'm lost. I'm looking for my wife. I got turned around.
Join me, Eric Roberts, Jennifer Elise Cox, and Ed Asner for The Last Saturday Night, an Electrocast podcast. You'll love it. Electrocast. Electrocast.